But I won't be blue always. Oh, the sun gonna shine in my back door someday. Good man, he done left me, and it sure does grieve my mind. Sometimes I feel like living. Sometimes I feel.
Welcome to WildChild Records. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. We're very excited today. Today we have for our first time in the studio down here in Toronto, Witchwood Barns Artscape. Come down, check us out. We're all about supporting artists, whether you're an emerging artist, independent, or mainstream. We're here to support you. We love live music. We love going to events, but what we love is having the first time on our platform a music composer. We have Jim Lefrancois. I love your name, Jim.
Merci.
A composer. Now, this is maybe a little too highbrow for our show, so I'm going to have to step up my game a little bit with Jim here.
Okay, we'll see how
yeah,
you do.
so this is great. So Jim is also connected to the health world like we are. So Jim, can you tell us a little bit about your connection, and then we'll get into your fabulous music career?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like my career these days has straddles sort of two worlds. There's obviously, I come from a background. I was trained as a classical singer and pianist, and eventually found my way onto the stage in high school, and went on to work as a producer and to create shows for the stage. I'm a singer, a piano player, composer. I've worked as an actor. I guess most notably I wound up running Buddies and Bad Times Theatre, which is Canada's premier queer cultural institution.
Very popular,
Yeah, for 10 years, you know, it has everything from a nightclub to youth programs to a full subscription season of new work. So my focus has been helping support the development of new work. And then in 2015, I noticed something was going on just with my mental health. I wasn't, right at the height of my career, the year that I won a Dora for Best New Musical in Toronto,
congratulations.
and actually won the city's top arts admin award, I was secretly dealing with mental health stuff that I didn't understand. And actually, I quit my job and needed to focus on health, and I started a group called, and I cleared my schedule, so I went from winning all these awards to clearing my schedule, and the only gig that I allowed myself to have was when Workman Arts, which is a real vital organization that's supported by CAMH. They work with artists with lived experience. The only thing I had on my plate at that time was this choir. I was starting the choir as a 6-week course for Workman Arts. And that was about 7 years ago. And then we went on to become a year-round operation. It's open to all comers. And that, despite all the awards and the stuff I've done in my career, the most rewarding work that I'm doing right now is with a group called the Bruised Ears Choir.
So can I jump in right there? And so when you mentioned Workman Arts, was that sort of like by coincidence, or?
No, it's funny. Before I had sort of come to learn about my own mental health challenges, I actually have a 16-year history with Workman. I was a hired gun working with their membership before I was even aware of anything that, you know,
Inside,
any affliction. Yeah. So Workman Arts. Then years later, as my own recovery, when I discovered about my own mental health stuff, and all of a sudden I had the choir as this contract on my plate, it was a happy coincidence.
Wow.
So the development of this choir has actually mirrored my own recovery. So as the choir's gone on and succeeded, we performed. The mayor has had us in chambers singing the anthem. We performed at 2 Luminato festivals.
Wonderful.
We have a show coming up. We're developing actually a new show right now with support from Luminato, called Heartbreak Cabaret.
Very nice.
Yeah, and
that's in June, is it not?
Yeah, we're actually going to do a sneak peek. We have our end-of-year concert. So the Bruised Ears Choir end-of-year concert is at Buddy's.
Yeah.
It's on the main stage as part of their Queer Pride Festival. And we're actually going to be showing a sneak peek at work from this new work we're developing called Heartbreak Cabaret, inspired by Amy Winehouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was inspired by work we did on Amy's
performer.
Tune, Love is a Losing Game.
Such a sad story.
Genius.
Amy was just on fire.
Oh, no. There's 3 recordings of her performing, just her and a guitar player, at, I think they're maybe in the lobby of a record store. She does 3 numbers, and they stand out like as performances.
Yeah.
They inspired actually the show we're doing now, but she's genius.
Oh,
Amazing.
I loved her. I
But
thought
she was pushed
so
like a
great.
workhorse.
Yep. They just used her.
Pushed
They
like a
used her.
workhorse.
I want to say thank you so much for sharing, sharing your personal, story. That's very, very helpful.
Well, the thing is, like, it's funny because, like, for me, it was 2009 when everything went down, and at that time, things were much different. Even in 2009, people did not talk about mental health. There was very much a NIMBY attitude, not in my backyard sort of attitude. So I kept everything inside. So there I was running a company, 35 employees, running a building,
And not
I
feeling
was
well.
afraid to talk to anyone. And I worked at a place called Buddies in Bad Times Theater, and yet I was still afraid to talk about issues around mental health and addiction.
So let's jump ahead a little bit. And how are you doing today? Like, how are things? How are things?
Things are good. Things are good. I mean, as I say, I've produced shows for Stratford and done lots of fancy things, but I have to say the most rewarding work for me is the work I'm doing now with the choir. It's ripe with meaning. So every Monday, I start my week. This is my life. Every Monday, I start my week with this group. I've programmed this choir. It's for people with mental health and lived experience. It's open to anyone, regardless of their singing experience. They can come start the week singing, So it's a positive kind of punctuation, way to start the week, particularly for people with mental health issues who might self-isolate, who feel alone in their problems. They can come on a Monday. They're guaranteed to start their week with their peers. They can share and check in whatever they're going through. And then we sing, which is a physical activity, an emotional activity. It's like the perfect way to start the week. So I found such meaning in this group. And we have fans all over the city. It's a very popular group. Like, we're not maybe the most technically skilled, but, after you've heard us sing REM's Everybody Hurts, you'll never hear it the same way
Well,
again,
let me jump in and say 2 things. I think by what you're describing and explaining, it's serendipity because you're getting health care while you're doing your skill, while you're doing your talent, right?
It's a win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah, it's just a full experience because it's emotional, it's technical, it's work, it's pleasure, it's and yeah. So we do this year round. So I'll do the plug. We're always looking for new people. I will work with anyone. All that's required is an openness to sing with a group and to recognize that there are health benefits inherent in what we do and just commit to it.
And I know that, either Workman Arts and CAMH, because they're attached, I know you guys have some wonderful supporters, because you see it all the time, like in the TV, in the media, the public, philanthropy. I know there's some really big, really kind people who support these,
like
which is great.
Donna Slate's one of them who comes immediately to mind. She's
Well,
the Slate Foundation.
The Slate family is just like such a positive family. And they love music, which I also want to say because we also produce a veteran show.
Oh, yeah.
And every veteran that comes on our show, like they all have PTSD and their own problems, but they say, you know how I've survived? Music.
Yes.
Music.
Music touches the soul. It's of all the art forms. I mean, they've done the studies. It's the art form that can least be kind of understood in a break it down with our minds way. It touches us in a way that's empirical, that is least understood, and therefore kind of has the most emotional.
I love that.
It makes us experience. It's something we experience in a way that we experience no other art form.
I love it. You know what? Let's do this. We're here with composer Jim Lefrancois. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to hear all about his duties as choir master or composer, because I think that's very exciting. Because I've never been a part of a choir. I can't sing a lick, but I would love to hear some of the experience and some of the great stories that Jim can share. So stay tuned. You're watching WildChild Records. We'll be right back.
All about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world. but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel of Detroit. Please tune in next time.
Welcome back to WildChild Records. We're in here in the studio downtown Toronto. We're talking with composer Jim Lefrancois. He's from Workman Arts, attached to CAMH. Wonderful history, wonderful story. The guy is multi-talented. Go through again what you do, Jim.
I'm trained originally as a classical piano player and opera singer. I have my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music Theater Performance. I learned on the job about producing. I've ran an organization, publicity marketing. Anyway, I do a little bit of it. I'm a creator.
Wow.
I will create in any medium. I will dance for you if that's all I'm able to do at the time. You know.
So take me through the steps of prepping for the stage with your choir. Like run through the steps a little, but don't obviously,
Yeah, so I started the choir in 2015, and what it involves is I get together with a group of individuals. They are all artists. I should say that they're not necessarily musicians. Some are filmmakers, some are, visual artists.
Are they all disabled?
The through line with our group is that they have a desire to sing in a group, and that they all have some varying stripes or types of mental health and or addiction issues.
Okay.
That's the through line. So we all have lived experience. So we get together on Mondays. So essentially what I do is I create a safe space within which anyone of any proficiency level can come in and just sing. We work at popular tunes. So things that people will recognize. And we create our own versions. We strip these songs down and then we sort of build them up again and find our original take on the material. We started as a class, then eventually I'm like, a choir is not a class. So we go year-round now, except for the summer. And we also I try to create paid opportunities for the members. So we take bookings about town. And for example, we performed for 2 Luminato festivals.
Very nice.
We were 2018-19. We were performing at Luminato. We've performed for the mayor.
And they paid you?
Sure.
Great.
Oh yeah. No. I do not ask my singers to come out unless they are being paid.
Nice.
I think there was a notion around the time I started this that they might come and we'll give them pizza. And I remember having a fight with someone who will remain unnamed. I'm like, no. There's a standard. They at least have to get $50 in their pocket plus TTC every time they're coming to do a gig. There has to be a standard.
Can I ask you, do you have a certain number for the choir, or is it usually 10, 15, or 8? Or
we were sort of pre-pandemic. The steady was about 20.
Okay.
And I'd say we maybe lost 5. We had 18 performed at our last concert, so that's about it. And then we're sort of we're now only just getting back in person, so we're going to build this thing on up because now we get to be in the room again, sing harmonies together. And,
if WildChild Records can help you, you just let us know, and we will be more than happy to promote you guys.
Yeah, well, you be careful because I'll take you up on that.
Well, talk to Lewis. You know our camera guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So this is great. So, so you were saying you sing more popular songs? More
popular tunes, I would say some of our hit, we start the week every week we have our equivalent of the Serenity Prayer, AA people know the Serenity Prayer. We start each week with an old blues tune called Trouble in Mind by Richard Jones. Trouble in mind, I'm blue, but I won't be blue always. So we start every week with that, and then we branch out into popular repertoire. So we sang a lot of Sia tunes. Michael Jackson, REM, you know, all sorts of stuff.
Beatles? Any Beatles? Any rock and
We
roll?
did a whole show. We did a show at Buddy's. And the last concert before the pandemic hit was a show of songs from the Beatles songbook.
Oh!
So the entire night was, a lot from the White Album, because that's, that and Abbey Road, because those are two of my favorites. But
Well, let us know so what's the date in June?
Okay, we have a concert coming up where you'll hear a sneak peek. You get a sneak peek at work that we're developing with Luminato for a new show, Heartbreak Cabaret. It's at Buddy's and Bad Times Theater. It's the Bruised Ears Choir. The show's called Feel the Love. It's our Pride show, end of year show, and it's on June 7th at 8 p.m. at Buddy's and Bad Times Theater. You'll hear the choir. We have guest acts. We have comedians, singers.
And tell our viewers where that is, where it's located.
It's at Buddy's and Bad Times Theater, which is in Toronto's Gay Village. It's right between Wellesley and Carleton, around the college subway stops, just off Yonge. 12 Alexander Street. You can find info at buddysinbadtimes.com. buddysinbadtimes.com.
Well, you let us know closer to the date, and we'll hopefully be able to bring out a film crew for you guys. If we're allowed.
No, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Say you're allowed.
Because I know just from our camera guy, Lewis, he spoke so highly of Workman Arts. Like he says, they're really a caring platform. So that's really good to hear. Is there anything else you want to share, Jim, like regarding the choir or Workman Arts, or is there any opportunities maybe you can tell our viewers?
Well, I'm all about, so anyone who kind of feels isolated or is creative minded and enjoys singing, my plug is for the Bruised Ears Choir. We've been around for 7 years, and look us up. Our main vehicle of communications is Facebook. So it's The Bruised, as in a bruised piece of fruit, Bruised Ears Choir. So it's facebook.com/Bruised Ears Choir. And we are constantly open to new people joining us. So if you feel isolated, you're a creative type, you could use something that would put a spring in your step to kind of start the week. Come down and sing with us. We usually start around 2 p.m., sometimes a little earlier, so you want to go to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
But it's really the best medicine.
It is.
That I could recommend to anyone. It's good medicine. Come down and sing with us.
And you challenge yourself a little bit too, right?
Well,
it's a
little... You'll find community.
Yeah.
You'll actually have a physical benefit inherent in singing, the physical act. The emotional piece of community and fellowship is huge. And so I say, If you even think there's an inkling that maybe this would be good for you, just come down. Check it out. Check it out. Can't hurt.
That's great, Jim.
Right? Yeah.
We really appreciate Jim Lefrancois being on the show today. Tell us all about his choir, all about Workman Arts, how you can get involved, how it's good for the soul, good for your heart. Sing, interact with people, be kind. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back with a few Wild Child updates. Stay tuned. You're watching WildChild Records and the Disability Channel. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dave Stevens with the Disability Channel.
An inability to break out. I'm sitting by the door on the second floor, losing my 7-year war. It's not an illusion, so why the exclusion?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's about you. So,
say you're a disability dynamo.
Joining me, and welcome to this beautiful Travelers Championship.
I only want one accolade from you.
So my story is unique, it's amazing, but it's not anything that you guys don't have inside of you. I'm not a hero, I'm not anybody special, I'm just this guy without legs that went out, and I just did it.
Stats outweigh the Democrats, the diplomats, and the bureaucrats.
This is probably your first interview down on the ground on your butt and stuff like that?
First time ever,
All
baby.
right.
Eliminate, invalidate, invalidate, invalidate.
Stay with us and the Disability Channel.
Welcome back to WildChild Records. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan. What a guest on today. We had composer Jim Lefrancois from Workman Arts in Cam H. Wonderful guy doing wonderful things for the community. You got to check them out. Join the choir. Lots of fun. That's what Lewis tells me. Before we go, I want to give a couple updates. Again, we're all about out in Halton right now with our music. We're going to be doing some great things with the Black Swan. We're going to be interviewing, check this out, we're going to be interviewing on May 24th the finalists from Canada's Got Talent, Meave. Very exciting, along with a world-renowned producer, Chris Burkett. He wrote Copperhead Road for Steve Earle. He's been involved with Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, the Pogues, the Trews. This guy's amazing. Chris Burkett, Meave, May 24th at the Black Swan. We're going to be doing live interviews. You can come down and check us out. We're also going to be doing lots of fundraisers. We're going to be doing an open mic out there. We're going to be doing CD release parties. You can check us out on Bell. You can check us out on Kojiko. Be a guest on our radio show on SiriusXM or check us out online, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. We're all about giving opportunities and creating employment for persons with disabilities and veterans and able-bodied too. We don't discriminate against anybody. So thanks for tuning in. I want to thank again my guest, Jim Lefrancois from Cam H and Workman Arts. He's a composer. Check him out. We'll see you next time. I'm Jay Stoyan.